Hello friends. Today in this video I am going to be telling the story of the 2021 horror thriller film Wrong Turn. The movie follows a group of college friends that decide to go out hiking on the Appalachian Trail for fun one weekend, but they encounter a secret society living in the forest and their rules don't apply to the normal official rules. They will hold you captive and never let you go if they deem you aren't a necessary value to them. Want to find out if the group of friends can make it out alive or will they be doomed for good and living in the dark prison of the secret society? Stick around to find out because spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins where we meet one of our main characters in the story named Scott Shaw. Scott Shaw is going around a town that his daughter was last seen in and is trying to find out where she is because he hasn't heard from her in a while and that is very unusual. The small town he is looking for her in, no one seems to display any urgency on helping him find his daughter, and they act like they really don't care. At one of the local bars, a guy tells Scott that he did see them in town, but then they went into the woods and he tells him whoever goes into those woods very rarely comes out. Next we jump 6 weeks earlier where we meet our main lead, Jennifer Shaw, road tripping with some of her college friends and her boyfriend. They are going camping and on a hiking trip together for the weekend. As they are driving, they get a flat tire and Jennifer has to change the tire on the side of the road and someone is watching them the whole time. Jennifer is obviously Scott's daughter if you haven't caught on to that yet. After they get settled in at the hotel they are staying at, they decide to go to the local bar where we see the old man from earlier, Nate Rhodes, telling them to be careful if they plan on going hiking on the Appalachian Trail and to not get off of the path or it will be the last thing they do. Jennifer thinks he is just being a smart-ass to him and mouths off to him that they can handle themselves like big kids and Nate just smirks at her and says he hopes so. Jennifer and her friends don't really fit in with the West Virginia crowd as they are a more non-traditional friend group. Her friends are her boyfriend, Darius Clemens, her best friend, Mila and her boyfriend Adam and then two of her friends Gary and Lise, who are dating, so we could see why people might judge them in the backwoods of Virginia. After they get home from the bar, we see Jennifer leaving a message on her dad's phone that probably is the last time he heard from her before going missing. The next day comes and the friends all head out to the woods to go on their hike through the Appalachian Trail. But let's see if they remember to stay on the path like Nate told them to. As they are walking on the trail, Darius tells them that there is an old Civil War battle land a little off the path, and they should go check it out. Jennifer is against it at first, but then he convinces her they should go. As they are walking off the path, a huge tree comes rolling down the hill at them and injures them all pretty badly. Gary actually dies from being smashed between the tree and another tree which crushes Luis's heart. Luis doesn't want to leave Gary's bad behind, but Adam tells them it is about to rain and they need to head back to the trail soon before it gets bad. After a few hours, they are still walking and it starts pouring on them and they all realize they are lost and have no idea where they are or where the trail is. They decide to camp out for the night and hopefully find their way back tomorrow in the daylight. The next day comes and whenever they all wake up, none of them have their phones and something has happened to them. Jennifer tells them she thinks she heard somewhere outside the tents last night, but just thought she was dreaming. Turns out someone was at their campsite and they stole their phones when they were sleeping. Mila is also not with them so they think whoever took their phones also have Mila. Adam then steps into a trap that ties his leg to a rope and then he is pulled away from them very quickly into a hole in the ground. Jennifer says they need to go get help and come back to save him because they would be outnumbered. As they start walking away, they see two guys in ghillie suits carrying Adam on a log and they yell at them to put their friend down. They oblige and as soon as they set Adam down, Adam beats one of them to death with a log thinking they killed Mila. But turns out, Mila was just in the woods going pee so he just killed this person for no reason at all. The other man in the suit ran off to probably go get back up. Jennifer wants to go get the police to handle this. But Adam tells her that's not happening and they need to act like they were never even here, and the others agree with him. As they are trying to find their way out of the woods, the mountain people show up again and start chasing them so our group runs for their lives. Mila ends up falling in one of the trapdoor traps and is impaled by spikes that were down in the pit. Adam, not even caring his girlfriend has been killed, runs off and he is then also tripped by a wire trap and captured by the mountain people. They then also find Darius and Jennifer hiding in a cave area so now they all have been captured or killed. We then jump back to Jennifer's dad Scott, calling her and asking how her trip was going and he was just returning her call from the night before. He finds it strange that she isn't answering her phone because she usually is good about keeping in touch with him, but he just chalks it up to her having fun with friends. Next we see Jennifer wake up in a pit and when she is told to climb the ladder, at the top she sees her friends, Darius, Adam and Lise, and they are tied up with bags over their heads. A bag is then put over her head and they are led into the village of the mountain people. They go into a cave-like courtroom where they meet the head honcho of the village people, Venable, and they are on trial for the murder of the man that Adam killed earlier. Morgan was the man that was there earlier when Adam killed his brother Samuel. Said they were just checking their game traps and they saw that Adam was knocked out and wanted to carry him down the mountain to not be buzzard food. They weren't trying to hurt anyone. Morgan then says Adam lashed out at them and he beat Samuel to death with a log, which is what happened, so it was just a misunderstanding. But since Adam killed Samuel, the mountain people feel he needs to do the time for the crime. Venable asks Jennifer straight up if Adam was indeed the one that killed Samuel, and he begs her to be honest. She said he didn't do it, and Venable knows she is lying to him, so he sentences her, Darius and Louise, to darkness, and he sentences Adam to death for the murder of the Samuel. He was going to let her go if she was honest, but she was trying to make sure Adam didn't go down for the vile thing he did. Now they are all going down. Great job. Venable then leads an execution right in front of the friends, and he asks them how Samuel was killed, and they answer that he was struck in the head. Venable then smashes Adam's head so he dies in the same way that Samuel died. Venable tells them they aren't the barbaric ones and that meant no one any harm, but Adam started all of this. He tells them they are sentenced to darkness, which is pretty much just alone in a cave with no lights or anything. As soon as they are about to be put in the cages, Luis runs off, but doesn't get very far, and when he is captured, he is branded through his eyeballs and then put in the cage to suffer eternal darkness with no eyes. Jennifer and Darius are about to be put in their cells too, but then Jennifer tells them that they can be valuable citizens to their society. Darius is a smart young man that can help build up their knowledge of resources, and then Jennifer offers herself up as a wife to whoever needs one. Venable likes the idea of having Jennifer as a wife, and tells them they must contribute to the society, and if they try to run, they will be sentenced death. Venable and Jennifer end up hooking up later that night, and he tells her that she will be his wife. We jump back to Scott still looking for Jennifer, and when he is eating at one of the local restaurants, a lady comes over to him and sits down to tell him that she told them to stay on the trail. She says there is a community of people that live up in the mountains secluded from normal society, and if they went off the trail by even a little, the mountain people might have captured them to work as slaves. Scott tells her he is going to go up there, and she tells him her nephew will go with her if Scott pays him. Her nephew has encountered the Foundation people before, and he does not care for them at all and wants to burn their community down. They don't make it very far because right after they start their hike in the woods, the nephew is taken out by a spike trap falling from the trees, so it is just Scott now, and he thinks he's going to take on the whole Foundation by himself. Boy, is he in for a big surprise. It's not too long until he is also captured by the Foundation and brought to their village. When they get up to the village, he finds both Darius and Jennifer there, but they are acting different and are really acting like they are a part of the community now and they are there to stay. Venable tells him he is found guilty of trespassing and he will be sentenced to darkness immediately. Scott asks Jennifer why she is doing this, but she acts like she can't even hear what he is saying. Later that night, when everyone is sleeping, Jen sneaks out to the hole that her dad is in, and she tells him to be quiet, and they are going to make a run for it. She goes in to talk to Darius and tell him they are leaving, but Darius has bought into their way of living, and he wants to stay with the Foundation. One of the little girls that has fancied Jennifer helps them sneak out through a secret tunnel, and Jennifer tells her she will always be her friend. They start charging down the mountain until they start seeing lights everywhere, but when they get close enough, they see it is Nate and his friends from the town, and they came to save Jennifer, Scott, and her friends. Jennifer says it is just them, and as they start walking down the mountain, the Foundation members start yelling for Jennifer to come back and she will regret leaving. Nate throws a Molotov cocktail at them, and then they make a run for it to get into Nate's truck and off of the mountain. As they are leaving, Jennifer can see Venable staring at her through the fire with a disgusted look. Next we jump to a few days later where Jennifer is back in actually society with her dad and trying to get her life back to normal even after losing all of her friends. As soon as she gets home where she lives with her mom, she finds Venable having coffee with her mother in the dining room, and he tells them he is there looking at houses and wanted to stop by and say hi to Jen. Jennifer looks sick, and then we also see that she is pregnant and carrying Venable's child. Jennifer tells him she will go with them as long as they promise not to hurt any of her family members. Venable agrees, and then they all go outside to get into the van to drive back to the Foundation. As they are driving away, we see the van start swerving on the road, and then Jen gets out of there after killing everyone that was in the car except for the little girl. That is how the movie ends. Jen still is having Venable's baby, but at least she won't have to deal with him anymore. Thanks for watching.